And CTV's Tony Grace joins us now. And Tony, what do we know about the airstrike and those killed?
Roger, this happening last night, and the World Central Kitchen, saying that it was 7 aid workers altogether who were killed, and they identified them as 3 British nationals, 1 Australian, 1 Polish national, 1 person, as we mentioned, with Canada-U.S. citizenship, and a Palestinian, who were all working for that charity, World Central Kitchen. Now, according to that charity, the workers who were in this convoy, and you mentioned there were 2 armored vehicles, they say that they had coordinated their movements with the Israeli military. They say that the Israeli military knew where they were going, where they were coming from. The convoy was hit as it was leaving a warehouse after unloading more than 100 tons of humanitarian food aid brought to Gaza by sea. Remember, World Central Kitchen has been pioneering and sort of spearheading this movement to get these sea shipments, these shipments that have coming from Cyprus by sea over to Gaza on the shores of the Mediterranean. They've been spearheading the effort to get that food to the people who need it. Now, again, for its part, Israel calling this a tragedy. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that this was an unintended strike and that Israel will do everything it can for this not to happen again. The Israeli military said it was conducting a thorough review, pledging an investigation. But again, that is what we're hearing from World Central Kitchen, Roger. They're calling this, in their words, unforgivable, as this becomes kind of a flashpoint now for the humanitarian crisis in northern Gaza.
It is a difficult, delicate situation. Makes you wonder what's next.
Absolutely. And, from world leaders, condemnation, but calls for an international impartial investigation. So the question now, Roger, what is that going to look like? Who's going to conduct that investigation? Israel's military promising an investigation by, in their words, an independent, professional, and expert body. And the IDF, by the way, insisting that it makes efforts to ensure the safe delivery of humanitarian aid throughout Gaza. But the optics of this all, of course, now coming into focus as well. Military and security expert Anthony Seaboy are offering us some thoughts.
Despite the fact that IDF was informed by the aid group of the exact movement, the vehicle was clearly marked as such, as we see. Despite these precautions, still there being a targeting of the civilian convoy. That is something that is very rare happening. And as Netanyahu said, there can be accidents, but there are so many accidents coming up in recent weeks that this leads to a not good picture.
And again, the IDF and Israel's prime minister promising a thorough review into what happened here, calling this a tragedy and promising to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. But of course, this is all calling into question the ongoing need to get aid through safe passages to the hundreds of thousands, if not more, people in northern Gaza who the United Nations has said are at risk of starvation as this conflict continues and as aid efforts come into question now in terms of, the path to get them to the people who need it, Roger.
Okay. CTV's Tony Grace, thank you for that update.
You're welcome.